Hi everyone, this is Admin from Admin 365 and today we are going to talk about how to set up a Microsoft 365 tenant from scratch. We will add a domain to it and we will create users, assign licenses to them and then point the DNS of that domain to Microsoft. We'll talk about groups and the common issues we get on a new Microsoft tenant. So let's get started. So basically, we will first start with the creation of the tenant. For us to create a tenant, we will have to go to the Microsoft subscription page and then try to set up a new tenant. We don't have to get that subscription, it can be any subscription. Currently, you can see that I have opened the business basic subscription. We can start with the trial, we can click on it, we will provide all the details and then we will use the admin account created to set up the tenant. So we'll go line by line, we will fill all the information here. So basically it asks here for the work or school account to add the subscription onto the tenant which is already there, but in our case we are creating a new tenant, so we will add a non business account. We can add a Gmail account or any personal account. It does not have to be a work or school account, and once you add that, it recognizes that you don't have a already existing tenant with Microsoft. Then it gives you an option to create, and all this information which you see here, you will have to fill it according to your organization. Do make sure that the company name which you are adding, it is the correct one. And currently I'm just selecting 2 or 4 people. It can be increased in later. As you purchase new subscription, you can go ahead and increase the count of the users on the tenant as well. We'll go ahead and verify the phone number. We are here just trying to create a tenant. The fourth step which you see here for the payment, we will skip that. We will just take the account which is created in step 3 and sign in on a different browser to office.com and complete the setup from there. Step 3 is basically asking us to create a custom domain which is ending with onmicrosoft.com. It is a unique domain provided by Microsoft to represent a unique tenant. You can add your company name. Just as an example, if you have a domain amazon.com, you can add amazon.onmicrosoft.com. Again, it has to be a unique one. If it is already taken, it will let you know that it has been taken and will ask you to choose a new one. Now here we will go ahead and add a random one because this is just a test tenant for me. So we'll try this one and check the availability. Yeah, so this is not available, so we'll try to modify it a little and then check the availability. So this is available. We'll simply proceed, and now it is just asking us to create a user ID and a password. This would be the admin account, so we'll just create an admin account, and you can see the email address. The new email address is the name at the domain.onmicrosoft.com. We'll create a password and we'll just click on sign up to for Microsoft to create a new tenant for us. And now as you can see, it is trying to create the account. The quantity and the payment option which you see here. If you want, you can go ahead and get this subscription by adding the payment information, and that will add the license directly to the tenant. But if you don't want it, you can simply take the admin account which has been created and go to the next browser and log in there and set it up from scratch. So what we'll do is we will just open the incognito window and go to office.com and sign in, and now we will use the admin account which was generated in the step 3, and this is the one. Next, and the password which we were asked to create. So this is basically the new tenant. We will jump into the admin center, and the admin center is the place where we can manage everything for a particular tenant. And as you can see on the left, we have all the admin centers listed here. As you go on adding the subscription on the tenant, you will see different admin centers added under the admin center list. For right now, we don't have any license. As you can see, the account which is created is unlicensed, and as we stopped at step 3, what we can do is we can simply go under billing tab and get new subscription. So till now we were able to successfully create a Microsoft 365 tenant without getting a particular license. You can go ahead and give it a try. And in the next section, we will go ahead and add a custom domain to this tenant so that we will be able to create email addresses with that domain. So let's see how we can do it. So in the same admin center, if we go under setup, you will see the domains option, and here you will see the primary domain which were added initially. You can click on add domain and add your own domain which you have purchased. That could be abc.com or anything. Here I will add one of my test domain. Once added, we will click on use this domain. It will then ask us how you want to verify it. We'll simply click on I will add my own txt record in the domain's DNS, which is already selected, and you can hit continue. Basically then it will provide you a record, a txt record, which you will have to go to your domain's DNS and add it there. So this is the value. As you can see, it is expected from Microsoft for us to add this record in the domain DNS to verify that we own this domain. So this is my domain registrar where I have the name servers pointing. You will have to add the DNS only at the place where your name servers are pointing. You will then have to go to the domain DNS manager, click on add new record, select the type to be txt, TTL would be 1 hour or 3600, and then point to or address or value would be the one provided by Microsoft. As you can see here, it starts with ms equal to ms and then followed by the numeric digits. So once you add it there and then save it, you will simply have to jump back to the Microsoft page and click on verify to verify that the records which you have added is correct or not. You can leave empty for the places you are getting confused. The main section of the record is the type, the TTL, and the point to address or value. If you have added these 3 for the txt record, then it is perfectly fine. You can verify the same by coming back to the Microsoft Admin Center and hit verify. It will then verify the domain. And we got this error. So basically it was not able to find any record, because as you can see under actual it is blank. So there is no record which has been detected by Microsoft. It If it would have been an incorrect one, it would have shown you the actual one being incorrect and the expected one being the one provided by Microsoft. So we'll hit verify again. It does take 10 minutes at least for it to verify that the record has been added, and as you can see it is now complete. So this was the first part. Domain verification is first part. The second part is pointing the email services to Microsoft. That should be only done when you have created all the users which you want to receive emails on the Microsoft and which are on that domain. So what we'll do is we will quickly go ahead and create users account, and we'll choose the domain to be the new domain. As you can see, the domain is now this one which we have added and not the one ending with the onmicrosoft.com. We'll simply uncheck these two options and we'll create the password manually for this and then hit next. We will go ahead and create a user without any license because we don't have a license as of now. Once we create the user, we can assign the license later as well. And under role, we'll just skip that. We will only create a user account. So we'll hit next and finish adding. So the new account was created, and now you can see both the accounts here, the one ending with onmicrosoft.com and the one which we have recently set up after we added the custom domain. So till now we were able to successfully create a Microsoft tenant. We were able to add and verify a custom domain that we own, and we were able to add user with that custom domain in Office 365 tenant. Next we will know how to add license on the tenant. We will see how we can opt for free license for 1 year. So let's see that in the next section. So for us to get the license, we can either buy them or we can get free Teams license provided by Microsoft. Uh, we will first check how we can see if we have a license on the tenant or not. So you just have to simply go to the admin center and go to the billing tab, and under billing you will see the licenses tab here, and you will see if there is any license on the tenant. You will see it listed here. Currently we don't have anything, so we qualify for the Teams free license. For us to get Teams free license, there should be no license on the tenant which already has Team services in it. So we'll simply go to this URL. You can type the URL here or search for Microsoft Teams on the browser, and you can see the option sign up for free. I'm not putting the URL in the description because the URL keep on changing. Just look for the keyword Microsoft Teams free and the official document should uh, give you the information. Once you click on that, you will have to sign in with the account, the admin account, which does not have free any license on the tenant, and it already took me in because I was on the same browser, and now it is trying to set up the Teams license for me. It is doing all the checks in the back end whether I already have a license or not, and then it is trying to set up my account with Teams. And currently I already had the Teams desktop application, so it is trying to open that. Once it is open, we will go to the admin center to see if we can see new license on the tenant. It does take some time, so please be patient. I have fast forwarded this part, so please be patient. It is asking me to sign in, so I will sign in again with the same admin account. So as you can see, it finally loaded. You can see the email address. It is the same email address which does not had any license to it, but now we can open Microsoft Teams with the same license. We'll skip all the initial setup on the Teams desktop application, and if we go back now to the license tab which we saw earlier and try to check there, there should be new license called Teams Exploratory License. And let's see here, and there you go. Now you can see 100 licenses has been provided. It is valid for 1 year, and you can go ahead and assign the license to the users which you have created. Basically, the Teams Exploratory License contain or is equivalent to your Business Basic subscription, the Microsoft 365 Business Basic subscription. So if we go ahead and check the apps section under licenses and app, you can see the Exchange Online Plan one, which has Mailbox, your Microsoft Teams, and your SharePoint Plan one, which will provide you OneDrive and SharePoint usage. Once added, you can go ahead and use the subscription. Usually this is active for 1 year, so you can monitor when exactly it is expiring according to your tenant and your location, and then proceed accordingly. So till now we were able to successfully create Microsoft 365 tenant, add a custom domain to it, create users with the custom domain, and then were able to add free Microsoft subscription, and then assigned it to the users which has been created. And in the next part we will see how we can point the email services to Microsoft so that we can start receiving emails on Microsoft. So if you have a custom domain and if you want to move the services to Microsoft, you want to know how to do and what changes you have to do in the DNS, the next part will help you with that as well. So let's see how we can do it. So if you have a new domain and you want your email services to be with Microsoft, we can simply go ahead and point the DNS to Microsoft after creating the user. But if you already have emails data or existing data on the current service provider before moving to Microsoft, you might want to migrate them to Microsoft. This is optional. If you want to migrate your email data to Microsoft, you will have to perform migration. You can check different videos on the channel. There is available for migrations as well. So simply for us to point the services to Microsoft, we will go back to settings and then the domain. Earlier we went under setup, but now we will have to go to settings to find the domains tab. Once we are here, we'll continue the setup, and once we do any changes with the DNS, it takes from minimum 1 hour to max 72 hours for the DNS to propagate all around the globe. What we'll do is we will simply select add your DNS record. It is just asking us to update the record manually. It will provide us the records, and we will go back and add it in the domain DNS where we have the domain name servers, and then verify it. So after we hit continue, it will simply provide us the 3 record for the services which we want to run. We'll select the Exchange and Exchange Online Protection, and as you can see, we have the 3 records listed here: MX, CNAME, and TXT. Advanced option is if you want to set up additional services, you will have to add those records, but the basic is MX, CNAME, and TXT, which is responsible for your email services. So we'll skip the advanced option. We'll expand each one of the record mentioned here. We'll copy one by one, and we'll jump back to the domain DNS and we'll add it there. MX record is the record responsible for delivering your emails to Microsoft. So we'll have to be sure when we add the record in the domain DNS that it is correctly added. So this is my domain DNS. We'll click on add new record. Type would be MX. TTL is again 1 hour or 3600. Hostname should be blank as it already contains the domain name. And we will paste the point to address or value. Just make sure that we don't have any space at the start and the end. And the priority should be the lowest. You can add 0. If it takes 0, then it is great. Or you can add 10 or any number which is the lowest of all the MX record which you currently have. So that seems to be fine. You can see the priority is mentioned 0, but there we have added 10. That is fine. And we have added it. It is trying to update it, so it might take some time. We'll go back and add the other records which are required. We'll add the CNAME record. We'll jump back to again the domain in DNS, and we'll select the type. We'll add the address. The type would be the CNAME. The address would be the one which we have copied, and it does have a host name, so we will have to add the host name there. Usually the host name for a domain is autodiscover for CNAME record, so you will have to make sure that you add the autodiscover there. As you can see, the host already appends the domain at the end, so we will remove the initial part of the domain from there and add it, and it should look like autodiscover.domain.com. So that is what it is looking right now. It is correct. And now we will add the txt record. We'll simply copy it and we'll jump back again and add a record with the type txt. As you can see, we already have the previous txt record, so it is fine. It will not create any conflict. We can have multiple txt record as long as it is not an SPF record. So this one is more likely a SPF record. We will go ahead and change the type to txt. And the name is that. We will not add the host because it is already included in that. So we'll go ahead and hit continue. So it will try to check the records which we have added, the same way which it did for the verification of the domain step. And again, yeah, so it was not able to find the records. As you can see, the actual column is missing, so it was not able to find any record there. So there were no conflict, just the records are not updated. It just needs some more time. We'll try to hit continue again after some time and we'll check. Yep, not yet. And as you can see the message, it does take some time. It is a universal thing. Oh, and as you can see, the two records has been updated. It is just the txt record now which we added at the last is still pending. MX record is correct, CNAME record is correct. So if we hit continue again, it should be able to recognize a txt record in the domain DNS. Let's see. Yep, so it was now able to identify all the three record which we have added, and the domain setup is complete. Now the email services is pointing to Microsoft. Any email sent to that domain user will land into the Microsoft mailbox, though it will take some time according to the propagation time from ranging from 1 hour to 72 hours. You can see all the records now showing up there, and the domain and the users on the domain should now be able to receive email. Till now we were able to successfully create a Microsoft tenant we were able to add domain to it, we were able to add user on that domain, we were able to get free licenses, then assign the licenses to that users to create mailboxes. And once the mailbox was created, we were able to point the email services to Microsoft so that any new email sent to that particular domain's user will land onto the Microsoft server and then delivered to the mailbox. So there you go guys. If you have any question, any doubt, you can drop it in the comment section. And you guys have a nice day. Bye, take care.